Hey guys, welcome to Choose Your Own Path. Um, I'm just gonna do a quick video on my punches that I make for the snake skin scaling. I started off by using the razor tip. Um, this for the razor tip, so we would attach to here. These things get really hot. I have a single burner. There's double burners and there's more powerful ones. I just found that the consistency of the heat. Now these things get pretty black from the wood, and then they just don't stay hot and stuff like that, and it takes a lot of time. So a couple years back, I made my own tool, and then I put it out to people, and I've had a couple sales on them, which is great. That's what we're all about, is making things and helping other people out. So I made this one 5 years ago. It was a Robertson screwdriver, and I took the exact dimension now, or measurement. Now this is a 4 inch and this is a 5 inch. You'll only need a 4 and a 5 inch to do your scales on a snake, my opinion. Anything bigger, smaller, you're wasting your time. So as you can see, I'm trying to get into the screen here, this is, ooh, come on, focus. This is what it came out to. So it's very, very, very similar. Let's see if I can get in there. I can't see nothing. So it's very similar. They both have patterns and all that. And yeah, so this one, same thing, has a flat end and it has the groove in the middle. Now these are for venomous snakes. Same what I did here. So what I do is I take a punch that I have a bunch of punches, and I make more of them. So I mean, they don't look the prettiest, but they don't have to look pretty. This is not Walmart or China. This is to make it work. So what I'm going to give you an example, and I'm just going to use this clean piece because I've punched it here a couple times. So you can see it's clean, and I'm going to show you my punch. I'm going to do a couple. I'm just going to do them off camera here. I'm not cheating or nothing. So what I would recommend, and is very important, and of course I don't have it. Yeah, I do. Don't use a big hammer. Like, don't use a big 3-pound, 2-pound hammer. I got one of these little guys. It's perfect. The one thing about it is, when you're doing your scales for your snake, you want to put almost like a little bit of an angle at the back first. So as an example, this is going to be my stick. What I'm going to do is, there's the bottom half. I'm just going to put a little bit of an angle first as I'm tapping. Now, why you do that? It'll give it more depth. So here we go. I'm just going to give a couple smacks on this one. And the nice thing about these are, it's just like the scales that you do on a burning. And I'll show you in a second. You can follow the pattern exactly the same as if you're using the razor tip. Boy, it's pretty bright here. The razor tip, and let me try to get out of the light. Yeah, if you're using the razor tip and you're just kind of going, up and down, there is a certain pattern you can use, you can follow. Sometimes you get so crazy, you're just like, oh my god, I don't know where I'm going. And that's that. So that's this one. I just made this one today. People were inquiring about it. I don't show the process of how I'm doing it. Guess what? It's not hard. Though, if you can't do it, you can contact me and I'll make you one. So this is the one, this was mine. I'm gonna go on top here. This is the one I just made. This would be a 5mm punch. And I'll show you in a second what I do. Now you can hear that I am giving it a little bit of a hard tap, but that's just whatever. It's just the echoing in here. And there we go. So you can see this is mine, and this is the one I just made. Now depth depends on how hard you hit. I mean, the good thing about this, okay, so we're gonna say it's a two-step process. With the razor tip burners, it's hot, it goes in there, it burns, right? And it puts the impression in. That's fine. So what I do was, when I'm finished my steak, I give it a little bit of sand. Just like I do with any other ones. And then I give it a little bit of a torch. And when you torch these guys, well, here, we have a lighter here and let's just show you what happens. So just a little flame, doesn't have to be very much, and we're gonna torch it here. So, whoop, push it up. So it does the same thing as that, but like it's just like any kind of burning, right? You let the inside, like the hoof part, I guess you call it, that stays clear. Now, people like to, I love painting my sticks. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. It won't make a difference. After you burn it and you paint it, it covers it, right? I really don't know why people burn stuff. I do it all the time. But whatever. So yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So like I said, these come in 5 and 4 millimeters. I'm not making any bigger. I'm not making any smaller. The punches that I have are all, they're either rounded like this, or they have a little square, I guess, kind of look to them. And they're exactly, I'm going to say that these themselves are, they're about 4 to 5 millimeters themselves. 4 millimeters, the smaller ones. I don't have very many big ones, but steel is easy to find. Don't have to harden them or nothing, because these are already hardened, right? Like I said, it's not the best looking around it, but that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for what it does. Now, what I'm going to do, because these are slippery, is I'm going to figure out something to put around here, like maybe a piece of rubber or something. I don't know, not condom, but a rubber, you know, and something to go on top here. The only thing that I find that's difficult, and I mean, it took me a while, not a while, it took me 5 minutes to figure it out, is how to make sure that you keep the scales in line. Now, obviously, I grind them down just a little bit more on the bottom so you can kind of see under it. It's a trial and error. You have to know what you're doing. It's not brain surgery or nothing like that. So it's just one after the other, and you're making a pattern. Excuse me. Some people pattern up. Some people start from the top down. Pardon me. It don't matter. It's up to you. Now, what I do recommend is the difference between the 4 and the 5 is obviously a millimeter. Some people go, well, it's not very much. I'll tell you what. The smaller one for the top of the head. Let me grab you an example. This guy. So this one, I'm not sure if I burnt this. It might have been a burnt one, so that's okay. But this guy here, you could see the difference. The top of the snake. Sorry if there's a big glare. The top of it, and that's one size, goes all the way through the whole snake. Now, most people who do snake sticks like I do, I start off by. I've always started off by these. I've done this one. This was just done maybe a year ago. I'm still learning, just like everybody else. And we don't have snakes out here except for garter snakes. Usually, it's a smaller at the top, and then your snake always gets fatter, right? And then it goes smaller to the bottom. So I tried to give that out like with this piece here, like by showing the belly more. Now, it would have been nicer if I was started with a smaller bit on the top, somewhere getting to a point where I know it's getting wider, and then use the bigger one to sort of spread it out and make it look like he's got bigger scales. It's all tricks of the trade. You don't have to do it. You don't need to buy or make a 4 to 5. It's up to you. I recommend doing it because that's what we do. Time-wise, I might have said it before, it used to take me, and I'm not kidding, I know a couple of guys, and I've talked to Mike Stinnett, which is the guy who started me on this. There's probably a good 4,000 scales on here. Now, it would take me, and I could only do an hour or two of this at a time, because the burning smelt, it was really like powerful, like depending on the wood you had, I mean, mask, everything, whatever. You're looking at maybe 2 to 3 weeks of burning. Honestly, this snake took me like an hour, maybe 2 at the most, and that's like because I took a hell of a break, a day here and a day there. So much faster. Saved me that much more time so that I can get everything else done. Now, again, the difference between some people and myself is, and you can see it on my other videos on this channel, I epoxy my snakes. I epoxy all my stuff. It's just that much. It looks nicer to me. It keeps the paint in. It's not. I mean, it is durable, but I mean, you knock this against something, it'll chip. It's it's just epoxy, and not only that, this is wood. I mean, wood cracks. Like, look at this guy. This guy had cracks in it all the way up to you. So what I did was, I had some glitter. I put some glitter in there, and then you know, I just played around with it, and I like it. I don't know if you guys like it, but I like it. So, if you have any questions, you know how to get a hold of me. I'm not going to throw any prices on this here because I share this with YouTube, and I know a lot of admins don't like. It's not that they don't like people selling. They just don't want. That's just not part of their gig. My site, you can do whatever you want. You can sell stuff. You can do whatever. Other sites, I gotta respect it. So, if you want info on these punches, you PM me through Facebook, or you can email me at richard.vorio@gmail.com. So it's richard.vouriot@gmail.com. And I'll send you a message back. Easiest way is through Facebook because 99% of the people are on that. Otherwise, that's what I'm doing. So if anybody is interested in these guys, hit me up. I could either explain it to you, or like I said, I make them and I will put them, and I do put them for sale. It's just for those who don't have the time and don't know exactly the, how it works, the scale and this and that. A lot of beginners. I was a beginner. It's all good. All right. So, final thing is choose your own path and keep on carving, guys, because that's what we do. All right. Have a great day. Thanks.